Good morning to Shishi Radhakala Chanchidam. Good morning to all of the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna, it's been a while since I've been on this platform. I think since the new procedure started. So if from time to time I slip back into the old process, forgive me. It is always wonderful to be in the association of devotees, always. I don't think I could live without that. From what I'm understanding, we're continuing to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 15, and we'll read through text 75 to 80, and we'll focus on 76. So because it's been a while, in advance, I will apologize for anything that is not given to you completely or with some misunderstanding. I'll try to do the best, but before we start this process, we always like to honor the love of Krishna and Radha by singing Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yashodanandana Braja Jararanjanan Yashodanandana Braja Jararanjanan Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Jararanjanan Yashodanandana Braja Jararanjanan Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Kalachandji, Radha Kalachandji Radhi. Jaya Radha Kalachandji, Radha Kalachandji Radhi. Jaya Jaya Jagannath, 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 Jaya Jaya Jagannath. Jaya Jaya Baladev, 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 Jaya Jaya Baladev. Jaya Jaya Subhadra, 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 Jaya Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Jaya Gornitai, 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 Jaya Jaya Gornitai. Nitai Guru Haribol, 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 Nitai Guru Haribol. Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So, we will, I'm sorry. No, just we're going to do this properly. Ordinarily, I would have just gone right through this in the past. I would have just gone Om Namo Vishnu Padaya or Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and then Narayana, the prayers to Narayana. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yeah, just pull it. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Narachavad Narottamam Devam Sarasvatim Vaisam Tato Vayam Udarayat Tam Narayana Devam Saraswati. And before, by regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Is that to the, yeah. We'll do this. Om Jnana Timarandasya Gananjanan Shalakaya Shakshun Militam Yena Tashmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadandikam. I'm winging it because I know things are a little bit different, so forgive me. What do you ordinarily do? Do you go through the... Good. I think I'm there. And from what I'm understanding, with the reading of the text, we read the translations first, and then, of course, we're going to focus on text 77. So let's see, text 75, chapter 7. I'm sorry, Canto 7, chapter 15, text 75. You know, it's good when you're not perfect, because then anyone can come up here and do this. And who knows, maybe I'm deliberately doing this so that you'll get comfortable with doing it. So do you ordinarily, you take turns reading the translation? Would anyone like to do that, starting with 70, translation for 75?
Yeah, I'll start there.
Thank you.
My dear Maharaj Yudhishthir, you Pandavas are so very fortunate in this world that many, many great saints who can purify all the planets of the universe come to your house, just like ordinary visitors. Furthermore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is living confidentially with you in your house, just like your brother.
Anyone else?
How wonderful is that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Paramahansa Krishna, who is sought by great sage for the sake of liberation and transcendental bliss, is acting as your best well-wisher, your friend, your cousin, your heart and soul, your worshipful director, and your spiritual master.
I can speak next. My voice is... I want to try. Present here now is the same Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose true form cannot be understood even by such great personalities as Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. He is realized by the devotees because of their unfighting assurance. May the same personality of Godhead, who is the manner of his devotee and who is worshipped by silence, by devotional service, and by cessation of material activities, be pleased with us.
Sri Shukadev Goswami said, Maharaj Yudhisthira, the best member of the Bharat dynasty, thus learned everything from the descriptions of Narada Muni. After hearing these instructions, he felt great pleasure from within his heart, and in great ecstasy, love, and affection, he worshipped Lord Krishna.
Narad Muni, being worshipped by Krishna and Maharaj Yudhishthira, bade them farewell and went away. Yudhishthira Maharaj, having heard that Krishna, his cousin, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was struck with wonder.
On all the planets within the universe, the varieties of living entities, moving and non-moving, including the demigods, demons, and human beings, were all generated from the daughters of Maharaj Daksha. I have now described them and their different dynasties.
Thank you. So we'll focus on text 76. And before delving into any of the scriptures, it's always important to give respect to one's guru. So before I do that, that is what I'm going to do. I'm on Vishnupadaya, Krishna Vistaya, Vijaya, Shivadi. Shikuru Guru Vishnu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, text 76. Saveyayam Brahma Mahat Ramigra Kev. Oh, go ahead. Yam Brahma Kevalya Nirvana Sukha Nubita. Priyasuridva Kalu Matuleya Adma Baniyo Vidikrit Kuruscha Sava ayam Brahma Mahadvigriya Kevalya Nirvana Sukha Nubiti Priyasuridva Kalo Matuleya Adma Haniyo Vidikrit Kuruscha Savayam Brahma Mahadvigriya Kevalya Nirvana Sukha Nubhuti Priyasuridva Kalu Matuleya Admar Haniyo Vidikrit Kuruscha. Would someone like to tackle that? Sava ayam Brahma Mahatvikriya Savalya Nirvana Sukha Nubhuti Priyasuridvat Kalomoteya Adma Haniyo Vidikrit Guruscha. Anyone else? Sava ayam Brahma Mahatikriya Avalya Nirvana Sakanubiti Yasuridva Kalomatuleya Atma Hariyo Vidikrit Churuscha Sava ayam Brahma Mahatvigriya Kevalya Nirvana Sukhanubhuti Priyasuridva Kalumatuliya Atma Haniyo Vidikrit Guruscha. Anyone else? No? So we'll do word for word. Saha, that's Supreme Personality of Godhead. Va, either. Ayam, Krishna, Brahma, the Supreme Brahman. Mahat, the Migriya, sought by great saintly persons, devotees of Krishna. Kevalya, Nirvadya, Sukha. Of liberation and transcendental bliss. Anubhuti. For the realization. Priya. Very dear. Surit. The well-wisher. Vaha. Of all of you Pandavas. Kalu. Famous as Matulya, the son of your maternal uncle. Atma, heart and soul. Armhaniya, the most worshipable person. Virikrit, giving direction. Guru, your spiritual master. Cha, and. Translation, and I'm going to stop fooling myself and take these specs off and read. Translation, how wonderful it is that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Parabrahma, Krishna, who is sought by great sages for the sake of liberation and transcendental bliss, is acting as your best well-wisher, your friend, your cousin, your heart and soul, your worshipable director, and your spiritual master. Again, how wonderful it is that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Parabrahman Krishna, who is sought by great sages for the sake of liberation and transcendental bliss, is acting as your best well-wisher, your friend, your cousin, your heart and soul, your worshipable director, and your spiritual master. Purport. Krishna can become the director and spiritual master of anyone who is serious about getting the mercy of Krishna. The Lord sends the spiritual master to train a devotee, and when the devotee is advanced, the Lord acts as the spiritual master within his heart. Tesham satata yuktanam jami priti purvalam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upadyate te. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. Krishna does not become the direct spiritual master unless one is fully trained by his representative, the spiritual master. Therefore, as we have already discussed, the Lord's representative, spiritual master, should not be considered an ordinary human being. The representative spiritual master never gives any false knowledge to his disciple, but only perfect knowledge. Thus he is the representative of Krishna. Krishna helps as the guru or spiritual master, from within and from without. From without, he helps the devotee as his representative, and from within, he talks personally with the pure devotee and gives him instructions by which he may return home back to Godhead. As I was reading the chapter title, the instructions for civilized human beings, I hesitated because if anyone is really giving attention to what's going on in the world, you begin to wonder, are there really any civilized beings? But then that's another conversation, totally different conversation. We're understanding that Krishna can take the role of our dear ones, our loved ones, our director, whatever role he chooses to take, he will take it. I'm thinking a couple of things come to mind. These are some of the things that I've chosen as examples. The one that stands out, of course, is the Battle of Kurukshetra, where Krishna is handling, controlling the chariot for Arjuna. And in the process of all the long fighting, the horses are getting tired. So what does Krishna do? Krishna brings water to the horses. It's so personal that he's brushing the hairs of the horses, the mane, with his own hands. There are times when he serves as a messenger for one of the kings. I'm trying to remember go ahead. Yudhisthira, yeah. No matter how many notes I have, it's good to look at what I'm reading. But he served as a messenger for Yudhisthira, taking important messages to Duryodhana. And in one particular case, he's acting as the greeter at a party, at a Rajasuya celebration. And he's greeting the guest. He's washing their feet. He's doing whatever the necessary thing that a greeter would do. Here this is Krishna, who can break us in two with probably one finger, but he has humbled himself to the point where he is behaving as a servant. The other example is Sudama, the Brahmin. That touches me because it is just such a humbling thing to hear, that here's Sudama, an old childhood friend of Krishna, and he is being asked by his wife to go to Krishna because she is having difficulty finding food to prepare a meal. Because of Sudama's humility, he doesn't want to go, but she encourages him. She pushes him to go, and in the process, she finds some flat rice to give as an offering. So, being an obedient, loving husband, Sudama goes to Krishna's palace, and Krishna greets him with such pomp, such importance. It's unbelievable to the average individual to see Krishna treat someone that's so humble and not insignificant, but one would look at Sudama as insignificant and treat him as though he were the king of kings, the most important person in the world, which Krishna will do anyway. But Krishna washes his feet. He offers ghee lamps to Sudama, and his primary principal wife, Rukmini, is fanning him. I don't think she's all keen about this. Here's this shabbily dressed Brahmin that my husband is treating so nice. But see, the thing about Krishna is that when we have purchased Krishna with love and devotion, which means that you have surrendered to Krishna. When you do that, you have Krishna's heart. It's not it can't be a business transaction where I'll do this, Krishna, and you do that. There is no business transaction with Krishna. It's a relationship of the heart. And any one of us, regardless of who we are, where we're from, what we look like, you can have this opportunity to have that relationship with the Lord. It doesn't matter. I remember coming into Krishna consciousness, not really understanding what it was about, but I was doing it for a relative. He invited me to the temple. I thought, okay, he invites me, let me come. I'm looking at the deities, not relating. But, this is new to me. I'm coming from a Christian background. And as time goes on, I'm attending the services, and I'm trying to connect with what I'm seeing, trying to understand. They're reading the scriptures, goes completely over my head. But I'm so glad that I stuck around because something came to me to do something, some service. So what I started doing was I started washing the pots in the kitchen. And they had this, their sink, commercial sinks, very high. So I'm leaning over the sink, washing these big pots, pans, and I'm not thinking about the stress that's on the body, how difficult it is to scrub the pots. I'm thinking, I'm doing something for Krishna. Or better yet, I'm serving the servant of the servant of the servant. And I did this for a while. And I have to tell you, that is what connected me to Krishna. Then I opened my heart and I started listening. I started to try to understand. And gradually, I began to develop a relationship with Krishna. And understand, I wasn't perfect. Started out with the rounds. They were not sincere rounds, but I was trying anyway. And that's the thing. When you're sincerely trying to serve Krishna, when he knows it better than anyone from the heart, you're trying to do your best, Krishna kind of helps you along. But in the process of it, he also reciprocates. And gradually, things begin to happen in my life. And I understood it was not something that I was doing. It was Krishna, in a way, saying, thank you, or appreciating what I was doing. And I'm saying that to say, for me, devotional service was my path to Krishna and the different relationships that I have with him and the different relationships each and every one of you have with Krishna. All of them are totally unique. Your relationship with Krishna is totally different from mine. But the point is, you can have a relationship with Krishna as he was for Arjuna, the chariot driver. Sudama, he's bathing his feet, and he's acting as a greeter for the king. It's unlimited as to what Krishna has to offer us. And what is so simple but yet so complicated for most of us is just dropping our guard and surrendering. Surrendering to most people nowadays is a little warped as far as the meaning, because when we say surrender, we're thinking we're giving up everything and someone's going to control us. Well, when you come to understand that when you surrender to Krishna, you're not giving up anything, you're gaining a lot. And if there's anyone that I would want to be controlled by, it's Krishna. He knows exactly what's best for us. He knows what we need, when we need it, and it's always at the right time. And it's always in a situation where hopefully we can learn something from it. There were a couple of shlokas in the scripture that give some guidance or ideas as to how one can come to this understanding. But just out of curiosity, this may be the second time that I've come to one of the morning programs. I'd like to know, just from anyone that wants to volunteer, what was it that connected you to Krishna, and when did you realize there was some reciprocity, some reciprocation from Krishna? Has anyone experienced anything like that, whether you've been in it for a day or you've been in it for decades? Would anyone like to share an experience as to having that time where Krishna served in a capacity, very humbling, or just a capacity, in a capacity that showed his pure love for you? Anyone? Please, the mic. I don't have the mic.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
I was thinking about the first time that I met devotees. I had been going to different like Hindu temples and Buddhist temples and buying every single book. Every weekend I would go to the book store and buy whatever book on Eastern philosophy. And then as soon as I walked into the ISKCON temple specifically, I remember the devotees, it was like everything that I wanted, everything that I was looking for. Like as soon as the Sunday feast started, I just had this realization like, wow, I feel like it was like a gift that was given. It's not something I could have found on my own. It was something that was given. So the devotees, they were so kind. They were like satisfied. And they kept giving and giving and giving answers and food, and they're just nice and welcoming. And yeah, I wouldn't say it was a reciprocation because I was looking, but like I got so much more. So it was a little unbalanced.
Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else want to share?
It was what my son brought me to Krishna consciousness, and kirtan and prasadam were what kept me coming back. But I told him, since I had a Christian background too, I said, I will never bow to the deities until Krishna speaks to me. And then within days, my son said something to me that was so personal that it was definitely Krishna speaking to me. And from that day on, I bowed to the deities, and I haven't stopped since.
Gosh, thank you. Haribo. He has a way of connecting with you, and Haribo to your son for bringing you to Krishna. And it was probably the right time for that to happen. But just like you, my thing was when I first saw their lordships, that was in Michigan. And coming from the background I came from, it was like, you don't bow to, deities. I didn't understand. I didn't really get the full story. But once you got it, it was like heart-to-heart connection. You don't lose that. And to keep it going, one of the main things is stay in the association of devotees. Very key, very key. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else want to share an experience?
I just wanted to maybe relate to an incident that happened a few years ago. This was on Gaur Purnima Day. So I woke up in the morning and, I worshiped my deities, I chanted my rounds, and then I went to work. And then I got laid off on Gaur Purnima Day. And then I was thinking, on Gaur Purnima Day, and that evening I was supposed to give the the festival lecture in the temple, and I was completely disturbed because what just happened, and I don't know what I did, but that class that I gave was not something I was very proud of, and I was wondering like why this happened. But anyway, it just happened. Gaur Purnima, the summer was starting, so that few months, my wife and I, we said, okay, let's just attend every festival, every temple. So we went to almost pretty much every Rath Yatra in the northeastern hemisphere.
Yeah.
We did everything. And then, my wife said, I think now it's time. We need to put the brakes. You need to get a little bit more serious. Getting a job, we have to run the household. So I go back, look for opportunities, and I get a job right on Janmashtami Day.
How about that?
And I get the
Haribol.
offer letter, and then I start on Radhashtami Day.
Ah.
So, in hindsight, when I looked at what just happened on Gaur Purnima, like why did Krishna do that? Maybe he just wanted me to take a break. I just didn't realize that at that point in time, and I had the best summer of that whole year. I mean, I still cannot forget it. I mean, so many Rath Yatras, so many festivals, I think I went to New Vrindavan like 5 times or something.
Wow.
So many holy name retreats. I mean, it was just amazing. Krishna is really your well-wisher. Like, the point I wanted to make was, sometimes I myself don't know what is best for me. But Krishna, he's, like this verse says, Krishna is acting as your best well-wisher, as your friend. And from that experience, I could realize that, he really knows what we all want. And sometimes we just, like you said, just, don't hold back.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, when you have had the opportunity to go through all those places, if you had been working. So hindsight, Krishna knew exactly what you needed at a time that you didn't think you need to be relieved of your responsibilities, but he gave you what you needed at the right time. You got the job, you started on a very auspicious day, and that's the thing about allowing control to allow Krishna to control our lives. It is so difficult sometimes, but you have to think, when you go to sleep at night, you have no idea whether or not you're going to wake up in the morning. You don't know what's going to happen while you're sleeping. You've already undoubtedly given control to Krishna, whether you realize it or not. And he's been with us lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, taking care of us, loving us. And he picks the opportunities to present himself when you are ready. There's a saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Krishna gives us Guru. Guru gives us Krishna. It is a very loving relationship, an extremely loving relationship. And the thing that I remember someone saying, once I'd been in the Krishna conscious movement for a while, is as you're practicing your sadhana, as you're chanting, reading, having association with devotees, listening to lectures, somewhere at some point in your life, you should realize that Krishna has stepped in and he's doing something for you. There should be an event that takes place in your life that lets you know Krishna and I are connecting. He did this for me. He's loving me. If you're not having those aha moments, you're doing something wrong. You really are doing something wrong. And everybody has that moment at different times. But what's important is that we learn how to just drop your guard and you surrender to the supreme personality, the controller, the all-loving, the omnipotent, the all-powerful, the all-attractive, the all-everything that's good. It's Krishna, but we have such a difficult time letting go and allowing him to do it because we think we know better. And then you find out you don't know better. I've got to keep track of time too. So I wanted to go over the slokas very briefly, the ones that I came across that give you some insight as to what one should do or what one can do to at least to establish a relationship to allow Krishna into your life. And the one that stands out is in chapter, and to me, it made sense. It was a direct point. It may come to you a little bit differently, but it's 1866. And some of you can probably recite it from memory. I am not going to pretend that I can. Yeah. And this is under the perfection of renunciation. Sarvadama Pratyajai Mami Kam Sarana Vraja Aham Tvam Sava Papapye Moksha Yishami Ma Suchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful activities. Do not fear. And the other one that pops in mind, I don't know the exact shloka, maybe Mother Prabhupada, maybe you remember it, but it's where Krishna is stating in essence that he maintains what you have and carries what you lack. Is that 920? And you know what? I probably have that blocked in here somewhere. Yeah. And these are just examples or different ideas on helping you understand that it is okay to surrender. You've been doing it all your lifetime. You just didn't realize what you were doing, what it was. But it's 920, 922. Yeah. Yep, that's it. Ananyas chintayo mam ye janihi paripasate te sham nitya yuktanam yogam keshamam vahi vahami aham. And it's by those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form. To them I carry what they lack and preserve what they have. There are a couple of other ones, but I have to, I'm going to hold back on those because I've only got a couple of minutes. But the point is, there are really no hard and fast rules to worship Krishna, to love him, to establish a relationship. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you've done in life. Krishna is very loving, very forgiving, and very available for each and every one of us. But you have to have a degree of sincerity. You can't just play with Krishna. If you're serious, he's serious. If you take one step, Krishna outnumbers you in the steps in how he reciprocates with you. I'm clocking it down to 2 minutes. I want to end at this point, but the point is, Krishna can take any particular role in serving you because he does it with love and because we have this eternal relationship that we've forgotten about. And now we're here in this material world, in most cases to get the relationship right and to understand that this material world is not our home, that we come from a place that's most perfect and complete, and starting on the path of developing a relationship with Lord Krishna is the beginning step. So I'm going to close at this point. Does anyone want to share, or do you have a comment that you want to make on what's been read? Anyone, feel free, please.
Hare Krishna. I just have one appreciation, something that you said early on in the class about how Krishna, he was on the battlefield and he was bringing water to the horses. And then I've heard that, but I hadn't heard that he was brushing the horse's hair with his fingers. And I was thinking that like animals generally are like not that clean, and especially hair. Hair gets like oily and stuff like that. So it's like but Krishna, he goes and he's bringing them water, he's, brushing their hair and stuff. And I was thinking that even for like myself, I have this body that's not very clean. And then even, especially my heart, maybe like greed and anger and all these like kind of dirty things are there. But I was just feeling a little bit of comfort, like, okay, Krishna, he doesn't necessarily, not that he doesn't care about those things, but he can like look past them, and he still wants to love and wants to service. He wants the relationship more than the whatever dirt comes between.
Let me correct that. When I was saying that Krishna was brushing the hair of the mane of the horse, if I didn't say it, he was using a brush. I'm sure that if he wanted to, he could have used his fingers. I mean, he does whatever it takes to establish a relationship with his dear devotees. He does. It's, there's so many things that's available to us. And when we get or push our false ego out of the way and just do the basics, and a totally new world opens up to us, and it's unlimited. The things that we will experience are unlimited, but it's all based on your level of surrender, your level of faith, your level of commitment to this process. The process works. I've been in it a little bit more than some of you, not so much as long as others, but I've been in it long enough to know that what we're reading in the scriptures is fact. When it says that Krishna reciprocates, he reciprocates. He reciprocates. One really quick point I want to make. The year that my Guru Dev became so ill in 2005, we were in Mayapur, and that was 2005. And they were introducing the Panchatattva. So there was so much mercy my Guru was giving me. I didn't even deserve it. It's like, there are other people that are doing so much for you. Why you're doing this? But long story short, I had an opportunity to work on the outfits that the Panchatattva was going to wear. Everything that I ever wanted, I was just getting. So I'm just doing it because, okay, my Guru has allowed me this service. He's not doing so well, but he's allowing his disciples to act in different ways to serve him. Well, after working some time on the outfit for the Panchatattva with some others, I didn't think I was doing anything, but Krishna must have thought I was doing something, because at that point in time, someone walked into the room with the entire offering for Nrsingadev and asked if anyone wanted it, and I can't believe no one said anything. And I remember my Guru saying, always be greedy for the mercy. And I got the entire offering of Nrsingadev's Maha. To me, that was just one of the many times that I received reciprocation. I didn't think I deserved it, but there are a lot of things that we don't deserve, but Krishna sees deeper in us. He knows what we deserve, he knows what we need, and he's willing to show it to us. So if I can leave you with any important messages, don't be afraid to surrender to Krishna. There is no one more perfect. There's so much nectar that's been written to solidify that fact, and we're missing out when we don't take advantage of it. Anyone else want to make a comment before we end? Okay. Thank you for tolerating me. It was very nice to be here. It's been a while since I've been on this format, but Krishna arranged that I get this last-minute opportunity. And when Krishna gives you opportunities, whether you think you're qualified or not, he must think you're qualified. Take it. Take the opportunity and serve him. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Radhakala Chandji Dham ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Haribol, Hare Krishna. Thank you.